Okay, I got all the carpet out, the carpet pad, the tack strip. I've cleaned off the baseboards. I've kind of cleaned up the floor a little bit. I have not put down any of the sawdust sweeping compound. This is not sawdust, it's something else, but it's a sweeping compound. And before I do that, you know, why was I going to do that? Well, my theory was I wanted to get this down to the concrete subfloor, okay? And if I pull those tiles up, this is what the floor looks like. Here's a hallway where the tiles were pulled up. I pulled those tiles up because this HVAC system here in the hallway started leaking. Bad, Carrier, bad. Hey, Carriers are actually pretty good, and I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad of a leak to get fixed. But I've got a bucket under there, so if we turn the air conditioner on, it catches the water, it doesn't get on the floor. Before it was leaking, going underneath this bottom plate here, and it's coming out on the floor here. So that's why I pulled up those tiles. But initially I was thinking I could use some material to float this out, because I want to make these floors look like perfect concrete again. And I wasn't really planning on pulling the tiles up, because this is the stuff that's underneath it, and I'm all set up to do a few tests over here to see if I can't get it clean. If you haven't watched those videos, you need to watch those, because this material could work, okay, to get that off. And I'm going to do some taste tests, some tests pretty soon on that, because see, ultimately I want the floors to look like this. That's stained on a subfloor, concrete, the existing concrete, that was probably 10, 15, 20-year-old subfloor concrete, and it picks up all kinds of characteristics on an old floor, because you always get different things on old sub-concrete, okay? And then when you stain it with one color, you can pick up all kinds of different things. Believe it or not, when I stained this floor, and this floor got stained, now believe it or not, this floor only has one color of stain on it. And see all the different things that it's picked up? It just depends how you put it on the floor, and it's going to pick up imperfections on the floor and marks from the trowel. See where they troweled it over here? That picked up its own characteristics and stuff. It just turned out pretty cool. And that's what I would like to achieve in here. And what's going to happen is if I put a laminate, not a laminate, this here is a Henry product, and it's called Unipro Universal Patch and Skim Coat. Easily patch, repair, and skim coat surfaces. And then that's going to look like the concrete floor, but it's going to look brand new. Now here was my questions for using that product. It's a dry product. You mix it up with water, and then you float it on there with a trowel. Okay. Now see where the tiles are here. These tiles have been installed for maybe 30 years. And do you see the darkness around each tile? Like here, see this line here, this line up there. When I back off, you see the moisture around each tile, just slightly. Now what I'm hoping is, initially, that I was going to use this product here. I'm going to float over that. But then, I'm not sure that if there's any moisture left in the floor, that it's going to come up. Hopefully it doesn't come up through the concrete, through that, I call it concrete. It's not real concrete, it's this other material. It doesn't have any sand in it, it's just dry. And it's almost like a vinyl type flooring material, universal patch and skim coat. It's like a feather edge material. Okay, but my thought is that, see, I've been thinking about this for a while, and it's been perturbing to me, and I'm just hoping that if I did use this, when I floated over this entire floor, that I wouldn't get lines appearing like that after I stained and sealed the floor. Later on down the road, start getting these lines like this from where the tile was up underneath the material here, okay? So that was one of my dilemmas. But then this leaked. I had a leak right here, and these tiles were wet, and they just kind of came up. And so now I'm thinking, okay, first off, I want to try to take this off. Okay, that's why I'm going to do these tests over here with the material that I have, and it's all non-toxic material, and it's not going to create any smell, major smell or anything like that. This is an oily substance, mastic substance, and I'm hoping to get it off that way with the wire brushes and all that. And if I can, then I'm not going to have to use this at all. But if this takes forever to try to get this off, and I'm scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, and it takes forever to get this off, then my next thought was, okay, since this tile came up here fairly easy, why not take this Unipro Universal Patch and Skim Coat from Henry and mix it up and float directly over this stuff here? Because then I wouldn't have all the lines where the tile, if there's any moisture in the floor, okay? The only question with that then becomes, will that material there stick to this black tar substance properly and adhere properly to this and not blow off the floor later or anything like that, okay? So there's a dilemma with that as well. So, you know, I'm not a professional carpet installer, professional floor tile installer, or anything like that. I'm kind of learning as I go, and sometimes when you work on projects, you might have the same thing going. You might have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and it might take a little bit of trial and error because you're not going to be used to doing different projects that I show you on my YouTube channel. That's why I got my YouTube channel, so that you can see certain things that I go through, certain ways on how I fix things, and I have to explain certain things so that you can get it through your head that you can try different things. Once you figure out what to use, then go for it. Okay, so that's what I'm in the process of here. After I get done with this project, I'm going to know a lot more about what I can do, what I can't do, what I should do, and all of that. Okay, now there's one more important thing I have to talk to you about on this floor. It's very important, so stick around.